Hi everyone, welcome to your weekly readings for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've dealt okay with the eclipses as they've passed us and the conjunction between Saturn and Pluto that passed us yesterday as well. Obviously, the impact of which we felt in the coming times. Busy times. I hope you're doing okay through it. So long as you're staying in alignment, it should actually be quite gentle. Like the only way that this is going to affect you in a negative way is going to be if you're way out of alignment, if you're not standing in integrity, if you're not standing really for the things that you believe in, then you can get caught out. If you're perpetuating unhealthy attachments, you can get caught out because it's a big Pluto transit. Pluto takes away what doesn't serve us, what isn't helpful for us. But if you're doing things okay, if you are in alignment, it should be gentle. You should feel a nice expansion from this stage forward. If you're here, please say hi in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your week's been. And please remember to like and share the video. Hi, Sarah. It's wonderful to see you. Take the time to get settled in. Take a few nice deep breaths. And as you breathe in, just feel the earth holding you. Feel yourself sinking deeper into the earth. Feeling held, feeling supported. Times like this, it's very important to stay grounded. Make sure you're dealing with the material. I'm going to start off in a moment by pulling in the energy for the collective for this week, and then I'll move on to the 12 signs from Aries through to Pisces. Hi, Tina. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you. So we'll start off with the energies for the collective for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. It's not slowing down out there, is it? But you can slow down for a moment. You don't need to be swept up in things. Get a sense of where we're at collectively then, and straight in with that Plutonic energy at this time. And I want to say, for the most part, I feel we're all ready to move forward as well. On the conscious level, we have death showing up. So there are a few things leaving your life at this time or having to be dramatically transformed. These are mostly to do with unhealthy attachments, I feel. Things that you've taken for granted, things that may have helped you in the past but don't so much anymore. These can be letting go of unhealthy relationships, unhealthy attachments, unhealthy relationship patterns as well. Where those relationships are unhealthy, and that's not just partners, that can be family, that can be friends, there may be a bit of a flare-up at this time. And it's flaring up because you've got to shift it, you've got to change it. Keep doing things as they are and as they were in these circumstances, you're going to have problems. This can be coming up in your relationship to work, but it can also be coming up in your relationship to yourself. What's your routine like? What's your relationship to your body like? What is suddenly rising up within you and why? Because that's giving you the guidance for where you go next. Now, on the subconscious level, we have the King of Wands. So there may be a defensive reaction playing out as well. So where things are flaring up in our interpersonal relationships, are we being a little defensive? You need to have an awareness of your reactions and your responses at this time. Because it's not just the other person, it's about what you do about it, how you relate to it, how you move forward as well. You can't look externally the whole time for that. If there is an issue with somebody externally, that's fine. You're going to deal with that. But you need to look at how you're looked into this pattern as well, because you know that that's not something that's going to stay in your life. It's going to pull away. It's going to be taken away one way or the other. If you fight it, it's going to be messy. So we're coming from this place of the Four of Wands. It's kind of full sense of security. Oh, everything's fine. And this can be very much like what I get here in particular. You get like the dysfunctional family that is all smiles to the outside world. Oh, everything's fine. Nothing's wrong here. Everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's good. But I don't know if you can see like the expressions on the faces of the bunnies here. Let's try and get this to focus. One's cocking their ear. Other one is looking a little unsure. So no, it's not that stable where a lot of us are coming from. So what do? We reevaluate, we adjust, we decide if this can be fixed. If not, we're going to dump it out. There's nothing else we can do with the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords showing up. Quick insight, quick inspiration, something to follow. Something to follow, even if you're doing it without other people falling in behind you. Moves us to a place of the Hermit. So this is also about independence. It's about awareness of our own actions, of where we're going. Are we going towards something? Or are we going round and round and round in little circles? Because you can't keep on circling. This is about breaking those cycles, breaking those patterns. And that includes, incidentally, any situation where you feel like you're being subjugated, where someone else is holding you down in some sense. These situations have to be broken out of as well. You can't be accepting that going forward. You need to be finding your own way, carrying your own light. Again, that person who may be wielding power over you showing up as the King of Wands there. It's time to put an end to that. That is the collective energy of the time. And remember, it's gentle unless you're clinging to things that do not work anymore, at least in their current form. So it's real work for most of us. But you're going to know what feels right. You're going to know what's outmoded, what's outdated. You're going to know what is blowing up in your face at this time. And it's both recognizing what you need to leave behind, but it's also taking responsibility for your part of that as well. I hope that makes sense as a collective picture. Moving on to the 12 signs now. I'm going to go quite fast today. Hi, Pam. Hi, Asma. And we're going to start off with Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Aries. Aries. How do you respond, Aries, when things that you've said or done in the past come back to bite you? What are the ways that you've constructed yourself in your interpersonal relationships? And these may well be partner relationships or other people who are close to you. What is the image of yourself that you have fed to other people? And what are you going to do when people hold you to that? Are you going to play that role? Or are you going to be able to announce, actually, I see things differently now. I'm looking at this differently now. Actually, who I thought I was isn't who I am. Actually, what I said I wanted isn't what I want. And that's okay. That's okay. It's playing up in particular in your intimate partner relationships. I want to say, Aries, I have the Knight of Water showing up. Did you give a certain impression of yourself when you were trying to win somebody over? Even if it felt accurate then, is it accurate now? Do you have space to shift that, to change that? Because with the Two of Fire showing up, this is about being able to feel free of any of that if it doesn't stand in alignment with where you need to be now. Maybe you tried a certain way of relating to this person. Maybe it worked well. Maybe it stopped working well. Maybe you need to shift it, change it up. That's okay. Maybe you need to negotiate that with them. Doesn't even mean that you're leaving them behind, but it might mean that you take on different roles in relation to each other. You might take on a different relationship style with them. It doesn't have to be static, Aries, okay? It doesn't. And if this person is genuinely with you and genuinely loving, they will work with you to shift and change. The Five of Air showing up. I feel that this is very much, if you didn't give the best impression in the past, then, or if you didn't give an accurate impression in the past, or if you're holding on to that too fast, too hard, things might start to blow up a little bit. I also want to be clear, actually, because this is coming through quite strongly now. Okay, so let's say you got into a relationship with someone. Let's say you acquiesced in some sense. Agreed to certain things that actually you didn't want. And now that holds you back. And there's this simmering rage that may be coming up within you as well. And they're quite charming. You don't have to deal with it, but there's this simmering rage within you. Are you going to burn this up entirely because you can do? Or are you going to cut your way free, Aries? Two options, two choices. Either are potentials for you. What is going to allow you to feel light and free, and if possible, in alignment with this person, but if things are reaching the stage of no return, if this is an abusive dynamic that can't be fixed, can you cut yourself free of it, or are you going to be pulled into a pointless, endless battle that just ruins you? I hope that makes sense for you, Aries. Hi to everyone else just tuning in. Hi, Ima. Hi, Dion. It's wonderful to see you. The next sign is going to be Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Taurus. What are you waiting for, Taurus? What are you waiting for, or who are you waiting on? I feel like you're waiting for approval, the go ahead. Someone to clap you and be like, yeah, you're amazing. Keep on doing what you're doing. Or go and do that. And this feels like a trap as well, Taurus. This is your area of work for this week. You're coming in with the Chakra Healer card. And in particular, I'm drawn to the lower chakras here. I'm drawn to the root and the sacral here. And therefore, I feel that in order to feel grounded, It's almost like you've needed to ask for external support. You're calling for external support rather than trusting your own instincts. And this is a pattern that you're having to break as well, because that can also mean that someone else might call the shots on you. And yes, you're a rigid energy, but I kind of feel like there is a need to be able to kick on and push on without that. Now, where this comes from for a number of you is going to be old disappointments, places where you might have gone out on a limb or felt like you were out on a limb and then they collapsed. And so now you sell yourself short and you don't want to do anything necessarily by yourself or for yourself or without that approval, that prompting, that encouragement, that accompaniment. But with the Four of Air showing up and the King of Earth showing up for you, there is a need to actually recognize that you've moved on from that place. And while you might feel, no, if I go out there and do that, like what's going to happen? And you might start catastrophizing. Oh my goodness, if I'm unsupported, then something goes wrong or this falls away, then I'm going to be left completely stranded. But there's a need for a bit of a leap of faith here, Taurus. There's a need to be that bit more dynamic and proactive for yourself. This is why we have the King of Earth showing up. This is you, Taurus. Grounded in control, able to achieve success. And there are those old negative self-beliefs, difficulties in the past flying away from you. And you're feeling yourself, but you're only going to feel yourself when you get up and start moving on the things that you know you need to do without waiting for anyone else to fall in behind. Sweet success is in front of you, but you have to go and actually grab it, Taurus. I hope that makes sense for you. Hi, Ladybug. The next sign is going to be Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2019. Gemini. Gemini. Are you attached to arguing, Gemini, especially with a certain person? Are you getting a little obsessed with having the last word, with a bit of one-upmanship in that regard? This is coming in quite strongly for you. It's like you're just getting drawn in, you're getting provoked. It's almost like you enjoy the arguing at the moment. It's like you're going back and it's like just one more thing and one more thing and one more thing and another thing. And then later on, you're like, oh, actually, I've thought of this. So I got to go back and make my point on this as well. But you don't. You don't. And it's like some of your connections are antagonistic, Gemini. They're antagonistic, and this can be a search for approval as well, or for impact on others. And it feels like in your quest for impact on others, you might be impacting in a negative way. And this is something that you're going to need to move yourself out of. You might need to grow out of a little bit at this time. So you're coming in with the 3 of Fire. And I have the 3 of Water as your challenge. The 3 of Fire, I feel here, is wanting to be in charge. That's what I'm getting from this 3 of Fire, which isn't always what you get from a 3 of Fire card, but I feel like you want to be in charge. You want to be in control. And you're doing so verbally, you're doing so in this way, but it's not really serving any purpose. And that energy can actually be used to create something nice with these people instead. 3 of Water. So you need to calm your relationships to other people. You need to bring some love, affection, emotion, positive feeling into those as well. You can see the bundle of herbs being burned here as well. That means that if you are bringing this kind of aggressive energy to your friendships, your relationships, your encounters, there's a need to just start to cleanse that a bit, heal that a bit, and approach this in a wiser and more mature way. So I have the Hierophant showing up as advice. You're already accomplished, you're quite wise, and you can stand in your own power. But what you don't need to do is go and constantly prove that to other people. Get one over on them, Gemini. Sense that I get here. Needing to be the big I am. Towering over here. It's not necessary, like it's so petty in the grand scheme of things. It really is. So this is what you need to be working on this week. I hope that makes sense for you, Gemini. The next sign is going to be Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Cancer. This is nice for you, Cancer. This is nice. Coming out of the lunar eclipse in your sign a few days ago, it's like you're stirring, you're waking up. You're feeling ready to do a few things. You're feeling ready to do a few things, to move forward on a few projects. And yet, at the back of your mind is just, I feel some old arguments, some old grudges that you might be holding. And those might just hold you back a little from the things that you're looking to embark upon. And I feel that you're motivated at this time. So it's a question of clearing that stuff out. You're coming in as the Queen of Fire. On the one hand, determined, confident, feeling like you have energy to use, feeling like you can deal with what's in front of you. On the other hand, you might be carrying some grudges, especially with the 5 of air showing up as well. New you, old you. Current you, old you. The stuff that has to go has to burn away. Old grudges, old beliefs, old antagonisms, old arguments, old rows. Why are you carrying them around with you, Cancer? When you feel so energetic, so inclined to move forward, why are you allowing this to kind of tie you up, hold you back? You need to be quite single-minded at this stage. I have the Magician as your challenge, Cancer. So this is going to be your focus at this time, is what you're creating. What's going to get in the way of your creativity? Placing your energy in places that have expired, that aren't productive, that don't go anywhere. It's not so much about protecting yourself from those people as just allowing that to affect you less at this time, because it feels so old, so out of date, Cancer. Something that needs to be, yes, felt, but dumped out. So as you're lighter, more able to act, more able to manifest. Biggest barrier for you at this time. It's what you're working on this week. I hope that makes sense for you, Cancer. Hi, Dion. You haven't missed Capricorn yet. I'm doing Aries through to Pisces. The next sign is going to be Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Leo. Leo. Don't get too sidetracked at this time, Leo. They've given me a love situation coming in for some of you, and it feels like a positive one. It feels fun, it feels light, it feels passionate. It's also something that you can't afford to spend all of your energy on, even though you should be enjoying it, feeling into it over time. It's almost like you've also got stuff to do and you might get a little too swept up in it. So it may become a coping method rather than an addition to what you're already doing. So there's a balancing act needed here. I have the page of Earth showing up for you. So this may be a younger Earth sign energy who you're dealing with. Someone who's quite tactile and sensual, I want to say, as well. So this could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And it feels like a really nice connection. It also feels like they might need quite a bit of your time. Or they might want quite a bit of your time. And there's just a need to balance things out a little here. Because I do feel they flatter you. I feel you like that. But I have the King of Air showing up for you. So there's a need to stay on top of things as well. There is. With the Eight of Air as well, you've got to stay focused here. Got to stay focused on the things that you're already working on, Leo. Does that mean you leave this behind? No, it doesn't. But there's a danger of the pattern that I feel you might play out here is just loading everything into this and not focusing on the other people in your life, not focusing on work, not focusing on the things that you need to get done, your responsibilities, even really practical ones, doing your taxes, paying your bills, this kind of thing. You know, you can do those and still have time for fun with this person, Leo. But it's a balance, and that's all it is for you. And recognizing where you might use this to self-sabotage. It's no more than that. I hope that makes sense for you, Leo. The next sign is going to be Virgo. Hi, Luna. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Virgo. Let's talk about the messages you tell yourself, Virgo. The impact they have upon you. How they mean you respond to positive or optimistic situations when they come up. I'm getting inner critic stuff. I'm getting old thought forms for you. Stuff that really kind of weighs you down. It's like I'm getting it in my back, in like the small of my back. Like, it's like there's a fucking like sack of rocks coming off of there, almost really closely in there, making you rigid, making you pessimistic, making you take attitudes that nothing ever really works out or comes off for you. Actually meaning that you don't like or value the things that you've achieved already. But, oh yeah, it's all short term. Yeah, that's nothing. Yeah, it's blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, actually, give yourself some fucking credit. And in the process, give the external world a bit of credit as well, because this shit is really going to hold you up. It's going to weigh you down. It's going to lead to self-destructive behaviors. You're coming in with the 9 of Earth. You're doing well. You're doing well. You're going to say nice things to that bird, or are you going to be like, oh, bloody bird menace, bloody hassling me, fuck off? It's like, you know, it's which one are you going to do, Virgo? You got to be able to value yourself, because that's going to affect your energy. It's going to affect where you place your energy. It's going to affect the energy that you attract as well, Virgo. Got to challenge that inner critic. You got to look at those old belief systems, what formed them, and what you're going to do to get rid of them, to develop better ones. I have the High Priestess for you. So you are able to get your energy back and then push it forward in a positive way. You are. But this is also to do with your inner knowing, Virgo. And are you actually listening to your inner knowing that says, actually, this is going well. Actually, that can be good. Actually, I need to go and do that. That's where I'm going to go next. Or are you attaching to some thoughts instead? This pessimism is not coming from within you, Virgo. It's coming from somewhere else. You've got to be challenging it. That's the conflict you're facing. 5 of fire. 5 of fire. Where are you trapping yourself? You're going to stay there and burn yourself a bit, or are you going to break out into the air where it's nice, where it's pure, where you can appreciate things, Virgo? Where you can appreciate yourself, crucially. I hope that makes sense for you. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Victoria. Just give me a second. Okay, the next sign is going to be Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Libra. Someone's quite cynical and mistrustful at the moment, Libra, and this is holding you up. It's holding you up in your connections to others. It's especially holding you up in your work life and your ability to collaborate with others. And maybe you've been let down in collaboration situations before. Maybe someone was supposed to work alongside you or with you, and they pulled out, or they let you down in some sense, or didn't follow through. And now you're kind of like, oh, well, I can't really trust anyone in that case. I just do everything myself. And this puts you off from getting help, expertise, working with others. This can lead to a bit of catastrophizing. This can limit your horizons, Libra. This can limit your horizons. And I feel that you have opportunities to work alongside others at the moment, and you might be turning them down. And I need you to consider that carefully. It's not about making yourself a hostage to fortune, as you might have done in the past, but it is about being open to genuine teamwork. I feel you need more of that in your life at this time, Libra. It's going to make you feel brighter, more optimistic. We have death coming in for your situation. So I feel like you're harboring those old disappointments, old hurts, some resentment from that as well. The 10 of air. It's like you were left in the dirt in the past, or at the very least felt like you were taken for granted, taken advantage of, or not treated respectfully. All of that holding you up. All those swords, the ones you got to pull out, because they're done. New situations, new people, new opportunities. Don't assume the worst. With the 3 of earth, I feel that there's a space to be collaborating, working together, bringing together success with each other. I feel that this is far more harmonious. I feel there's plenty to go around at this time. I feel very, very much that you need to be able to genuinely hear other people out for what they can offer, and trust that they're going to hear you out as well. This can be balanced, it can be nice, it can be highly creative, highly successful. So don't shy away from it. I hope that makes sense for you, Libra. Hi, Phoenix Rising. Hi, Michelle. The next sign is going to be Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Interesting, two of the same cards are coming up for you, Scorpio, and I shuffled them back in different places, but here they are again. I actually feel like you're kind of excited at this time, almost raring to go. Almost raring to go, and other people might not be. And so you're excited by the energy, by the potential, by the possibilities. Other people, I feel, are less so. And you're kind of wondering what's their problem, what's their game? Why aren't they like where I am? So there's a slightly different balancing act going on for you, Scorpio. And in your case, I feel like you got to help some of them up. You can't be so single-minded here. You can't be so single-minded here. You might be viewing other people as a little bit of a drain. Too slow, too pessimistic, and too caught up in their own bullshit. And maybe, just maybe, they're struggling a bit, Scorpio. Maybe the pattern that you need to shift is one of writing people off, moving on too fast, leaving people behind too fast. I have the Ten of Air showing up. And I feel this is what you might be doing to them when you could be doing this. Three of Earth again. Hearing them out. Sitting down with them. What's on your mind? What do you need help with? Is there anything I can do? Can I at least hear you, support you? Can I give you a hug? Can I make you a meal? Oh, awful. No, an area of growth for you, Scorpio. An area of growth for you that allows you to be that bit more focused on the material, on the physical, on people's needs that are right in front of you. Vice is the Knight of Air. Don't presume that you know better than other people what's good for them. But do be available to them where you can. Because they're not in the way of the things that you're doing. They're not. Being around them, supporting them, connecting with them, helping them is one of the things that you are doing. So get off your high horse and offer a bit of help this week, Scorpio. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Sag. Someone's being nosy, Sagittarius. Nosy. Knowing everything about someone else's situation, what they're doing wrong. Like, look at that. Look at them doing that. And look at that. And look at that. Why haven't they figured that out yet? And aren't they full of shit? And Okay. Okay. Is this the best use of your energy, Sag? Is it? Is it though? You're coming in with the 7 of air. Oh, look at me up here. I'm so much better than they are because I've got it all figured out. And I don't get tied down. I don't get caught up in this. I don't get caught up in this, and yet what you are getting caught up in is gawping at them, having an opinion on them, gossiping about them, this kind of thing. It's not very loving, it's not very caring, it's not very practical, it doesn't really help. Holds you up as well, Sagittarius. So I have the 6 of Earth for you. I also have the Star for you. So firstly, are you doing that well? Are you? Or are you drawing a bit of schadenfreude from staring at what they're up to? Are you engaged in a kind of one-upmanship where you just feel better by looking at what you decided everyone else is doing wrong? That's easier than self-examination. Are you being loving? Are you being kind? Are you being generous? Or is this self-absorption? I feel this is just going to hold your progress back. And it feels like it might poison your mind and poison your relationships as well. Are you looking for dirt on people? Or are you looking for the means to help them? Not to force your agenda on them, but to be available for them. Because this is going to shape the direction that you go in. This is the energy that you're carrying forward at this time, Sag. With the star, it can go either way. So which star are you following here? What are you growing out into? What are you developing into? Who are you becoming? Who would you like to become? What's the best you can be? What's you at your best? Because you at your best is not you at your best because, oh, I'm doing so much better than everyone else. You at your best is you at your best because you're shining brightly. Make sure you choose wisely this week, Sag. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Cappies. Capricorn. No shortage of Capricorn energy out there at the moment and indeed throughout this year. Okay, Capricorn. Don't get cocky. Don't get overconfident. I get the feeling that for a number of you, this very intense cosmic weather that we're having has almost passed you by. Or things have just gone well. Things are going well. Sun lighting up your sign, it's fine. Nice. This has come together for me, and that hasn't impacted me. That hasn't affected me. I'm all right. Really good. Really good, really good, really good. And while you're riding the waves well, just be careful because pride does come before a fall as well, Capricorn. And I mentioned one-upmanship with other signs, and you've got to watch for that cockiness in relation to other people who might be struggling as well. So you're coming in with the 7 of Fire. Feeling good, confident, strong, fine. Maybe a bit defensive, though. Maybe a bit closed off to what other people are doing. A bit too self-involved. And I feel like things are going to get stirred up for you this week. So there's a slight delay, but things are going to get stirred up for you. So maybe things have been going really smoothly for you, and now suddenly they slow down, they stop. Triggers anxiety, triggers worry. What are you going to do about it? I have the moon showing up for you. I also have the 8 of air showing up for you, Capricorn. So what have you been protecting yourself from? In terms of your internal process, what have you been protecting yourself from? Where have you been avoiding treading? Where have you been avoiding stepping? Have you been focusing only on the things that you know well, that go well, that are guaranteed wins, that are bankers for you? Some other stuff coming your way this week, Capricorn. Threatens to destabilize you if you ignore it. If you ignore it. However, if you're willing to look it in the eye and look at the deeper message within it as well. What is this telling me? This is kicking off in front of me. This is blowing up in my life. What's this telling me? Where do I need to work in relation to this? Then you'll be okay. If you think it's going to be business as usual, you don't have anything to adjust or work on, you might be in for a surprise, Capricorn. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Aquarius. Hi, Amber. Hi, Sue. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Aquarius. Aquarius. You might be wondering why more people are not cheering you on at this time, Aquarius. Why there are not more people around you. For those of you who are having successes, you might be wondering why there aren't more people applauding you or supporting you there. For those of you where things are not going so well, you might be wondering where the help is there as well. You also might not really be reaching out and asking for it. So you might not be connecting yourself here. Maybe some pride in the way for you, Aquarius. Maybe some pride in the way for you. This may be an old pattern. An old pattern where you kind of isolate yourself and then make it everyone else's fault. And you've got to analyze if that's the case at this time. You're coming in with the 4 of water. So I don't feel like you're seeing the good around you. You may not be seeing the good in yourself, or else you might be only getting a good sense of self from falsely inflating the wrong parts of yourself. Just inflating your ego, but not working with other parts of yourself, Aquarius. Danger. Ignoring the people who do want to step into your life is also a danger. Because it's not about them taking control. It's about them being a part of you and connecting to you, and that's okay. I have strength showing up. So how much of this is your need to be right? To prove yourself? To be the best, and as a result, you kind of carve other people out even when they want to be around you. Be careful. Be careful. There's going to be a change in your luck, Aquarius. So where things haven't been going well, they might start to move for you now. Where they have, they might start to fall away. I have the Wheel of Fortune showing up for you. Pride comes before a fall, and you know it does. So ensure that you're looking after yourself, looking out for yourself, but you're doing so by allowing other people close to you as well at this time. I hope that makes sense for you, Aquarius. Before we do Pisces, just give me 1 second, please. I am so sorry about that. Okay. Okay. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 13th to the 19th of January 2020. Pisces. Pisces. Things are really opening up for you, Pisces, especially in your love life. Things are really opening up for you. And the only danger is if you get carried away and don't deal with the reality in front of you. If you assume that things are going to be a particular way, if you live in a daydream, live in a fantasy around this. But I feel like you're connecting to somebody at this time, and it feels beautiful. It feels beautiful, but you might get ahead of yourself, caught up in it, and expect a little too much, or expect too much too soon, or not be dealing with the person as they actually are because you're projecting something onto them, even though there's potential here, so you don't need to. Knight of Water for you. So somebody is very loving. Somebody cares about you. Somebody's very interested in you. You're very interested in them as well. This is a nice atmosphere. It's also a very hazy Piscean atmosphere, especially with the 10 of Water showing up as well. This is where you might get ahead of yourself. Get caught up in a bit of an illusion that's not an illusion that they're creating necessarily. It's more likely to be one that you're creating. Like, it's okay to have these feelings. The feelings feel wonderful. What's washing over you feels wonderful at this time, Pisces. And it's okay to open up to that. But you need to allow this to flow a bit more gently. See where it goes without preempting it. Allow them to affect you and you to affect them. Ensure that you're not just like being caught up in a little daydream or mirage or anything else. Temperance here, Pisces, temperance. So it is going somewhere, it is leading somewhere, but you can't preempt the end point. You can't preempt what this is for. And you can't preempt or predetermine who they are in relation to you either. It's the only danger. Enjoy it. It feels really nice. Just try and keep one foot in reality and in the present if you can. I hope that makes sense for you, Pisces. That is all 12 signs. Thank you all so much for being here through them. I have time to pull cards for a couple of people now. If you have a question for me, please pop it in the live chat and I will see which of you I am drawn to. I'm going to remind all of you as well to please like and share the video and subscribe and enable notifications because that helps a huge amount. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, be that a tarot reading, an astrology reading, a psychic reading, a year ahead predictive reading, all of those can be booked. My details are just in the box below. If my work helps you and you'd like to leave me a donation, my PayPal details are in the box below. If you'd like to book me for an event, interview me, collaborate with me, or contact me for any other reason, my details for those are also in the box below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me see who I'm drawn to. Amber Moville, what advice for my CSA project? Will it thrive and yield? Okay, Amber. These are quick reads, obviously. If you'd like a full reading, then you are very, very welcome to book me. Will it thrive and yield? I feel, on the whole, yes. I have the Spirit card showing up for you. So as long as this feels in alignment for you, then yes. I feel like what you might do at times is overthink this, overmanage it, and not simply allow it to be. I have the King of Fire showing up. The King of Fire can be quite controlling. I need this, I need it now, I need it to be this way. And I feel like you need to take the reins off just a little. Slightly lighter approach is going to be what brings success for you, Amber. I hope that makes sense for you. Dion is asking about reconciliation with a Pisces. Okay, Dion. Reconciliation with a Pisces. I feel it's possible. I feel it's slow as well. I feel if you push too hard, you're going to fuck it up. So you need to go very slowly with this person. I have the Six of Fire showing up. This is somebody who has a bit of self-worth. You value them as well. There is mutual appreciation, but it's also somebody who I feel quite strongly might be a little suspicious, or you may be suspicious of them. That's why you got to go slow. Like, you can't just brush the stuff that you broke up over under the carpet. You absolutely can't, because it's going to blow up in your fucking face if you do. That also means that you need to work out if you actually want this. Do you want this? Are you prepared to put the work into it? 7 of Earth, 8 of Earth. If you are, there is potential here. However, if this in some sense stifles you or makes you feel small, if there are unresolved issues, unresolved arguments, then those have to be worked through before you have a chance here. Otherwise, you're tying yourself into something that is bad for you. And I got to be clear on that. I got to be clear on that. You see, you have the 3 of Aries, your shadow card. You're motivated by hurt at the moment. Not necessarily by love, not necessarily by hope. This can be by a fear of being left alone or being alone. That can cause you to make compromises or concessions that are not warranted. I want you to be careful with this one, Dion. Be very, very careful. Don't just patch it up for the sake of it. You want to make sure this actually serves your interests and theirs. I hope that makes sense for you. La Luna, Zelda, I broke up with my boy today. I'm sorry and angry. Is there any chance for us? Not at the moment, but it's brand new. It's brand new, La Luna. And I feel that rather than being, is there any chance for us? You need to ask yourself what it is that's motivating you at this time. This is really, really important, La Luna. Okay, you're coming in with the 10 of Air, so this is very, very fresh. You feel left in the dirt. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Before you even think about reconciliation, you got to move more into your own power. I have the Magician showing up for you. You got to build trust in yourself. Build worth in yourself. The Empress. Work out from there if this is somebody you trust. Is this somebody you want to be with? We can't mess about with the current energies. There's no time for it. If a relationship has come apart, you need to take the time to understand the reasons for it. Understand what was unhealthy about it. Rather than trying to dash back in and patch it up because it feels familiar, when in practice it can really hold you back. So take your time. Take your time. Don't be thinking about reconciliation at this time. Be thinking about yourself, how this has hurt you, how it's wounded you, and how you heal from it. I hope that makes sense for you. That is all I have time for today. Thank you all so much for being here. Remember, if you'd like to book me or make a donation to me, my details are just in the box below. I would love to be in touch with you and work with you. I'm going to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, evening, night, or morning, depending on where you are in the world. and I'll see you all again really soon. Thank you.